this because we'll see how long I can wear it without getting annoyed. Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have the energy to like do a full face of makeup and then, you know, take it off in like 5 seconds. So here we are. So, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, feel free to do it down below. I'll remind you again at the end because, you know, we look out for each other, right? So originally I had so much content planned around grad school, from like picking an advisor to managing your day, figuring out your dissertation topic, all of these great things. But given everything that's going on, I'm like, does anyone really want to be thinking about that? Probably not. I don't. So I'm gonna make this video short, but I just wanted to check in with you guys, you know, like how are you? How are you doing mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually? All of it. Tell me. So I spoke about this a little bit last time in my vision board video, but I think I've been really trying to use this time to just like reflect and think a little bit more about what I want for myself moving forward and things like that, now that I have some space and flexibility in my day, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to do a little short check-in with you guys, you know, some questions. I'll say a little bit about what my responses are to those questions briefly, but I just want you to kind of sit with these questions as we move forward in this lockdown period. Obviously, I'm sending you all positive vibes and prayers and hoping that everyone is safe. And I said "and" really weirdly there. And taking the proper precautions and also doing what we can, if we have the resources and privilege, to provide for those who are most vulnerable. So the first question that I have is, what are you learning about yourself during this time? I think moments of, I don't like the term social isolation because we're not isolating from each other socially. We can still connect with each other. We're just physically isolating. But during this time, it is a lot of time with self. So what are you learning about yourself? Like, what are things that you are longing for during this period of potential scarcity, or during this period of potentially being out of our daily routine? And I think for me, what I'm learning, I feel like I'm really tapping into like, so I was an only child for the first 8 years of my life, and like I had the wildest imagination. Like I remember one of my dreams when I was a kid was that I was like coloring and the Crayola crayons started growing and becoming large and then started chasing after me. Just like some wild stuff that like now if I had those dreams, people would be like, what are you on? But yeah, just my dreams went in all different places, and I feel like oddly enough during this time I've actually been dreaming again. Like my dreams used to be just like me going to Target and getting my shopping list through, right? Like it was basically a regular day but in dream form. So I feel like now we have some like plot twists, all these different dynamics going on, and it's so creative and I love it. And in my daily life when I'm conscious, I'm also seeing that creativity spark, not just through my TikTok videos. Feel free to follow me, I'll include the link below. But also just like through dance, through like drawing and all these things, and like I feel like I've been able to access my inner child in ways that I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I don't feel like I had the like, I don't know if it was that I didn't have the space to do that, or that like I didn't open myself freely enough to it, right? And now that I'm just like chilling in my house doing what I want to do, like I can do what I want to do. And so yeah, I think that's been a beautiful part of this experience for me. I am like my own best friend. You don't understand. I entertain the hell out of myself. And it's kind of embarrassing, but like, I don't know. I'm a comedian, y'all. I'm a comedian with myself. I'm a dancer with myself. Be coming up with all types of choreographies. Like, let's go, you know? And then the second question is, what's been bringing you joy or peace, depending on how you want to frame that. I think it's easy to get stuck in this mindset of like, we're being told what to do, we're being forced to stay inside and do all these things, and like, there's scarcity in X, Y, and Z ways, that we don't really tap into moments of joy as well. I've been seeing so much content of people being goofy with their family members, or just like getting time to like catch up on their shows and all this stuff, and there's so many elements of joy also at work in this experience, and it's important for us to also make space for that too. And I'm not saying to like suppress or forget about all the other things that are happening, but I think we can have both, right? We can have both. And yeah, so I think for me, what's been bringing me peace is just kind of like having agency in my day, right? Like, who gonna be my ass, right? Like, if I want to make a TikTok at 3 p.m. or make a milkshake and just dance around my room at 12 a.m., like, who gonna be my ass? No one. I think, yeah, I was talking to my friend, like, I feel like this is the first time I've truly have that agency in my day, and I can do what I want with it, and I think that's where the allowance for creativity, the allowance for balance has happened. So I've definitely been trying to make use of this agency in my day, because I don't know how long it's going to last, but I've had to work a little bit harder in getting some of the routine things back into the game. Yeah, so with that agency came my ability to tap into cooking skills, learn new workouts as well, and just like there are other things that are less, you know, making TikToks and more just like developing skills that I can bring forward with me after this period as well. But there's also been so much rest and like me not feeling guilty for that rest, right? I think for a long time when I'd take a break, I'd feel some sense of guilt in the back of my mind for doing so. And this is kind of like one of the first periods where I just like, I am doing what I want. I'm accountable to no one, okay? I do what I want. Oh, so yeah, I've been living that up pretty well, you know? Third question. What are you doing to connect with others, and like what are new ways that you're finding to connect with others? So anyone who knows me knows that I am a pretty bad texter. I've improved substantially, but there were periods where I had upwards of 100 unread text messages, and it just like, it felt like a lot of energy to respond to people, and like I would have to have a certain level of capacity to respond to certain types of texts or people, etc. And I also just didn't like the idea of people having access to me whenever they wanted to. I wanted to have that keyword agency. I wanted to have agency in that experience, right? And so keeping up with people kind of like became hard for me, especially when I moved away from a lot of my support system in California, and I had to work extra hard to maintain those relationships, things that I initially didn't do. So trying to become a better texter, trying to become better at calling people and things like that. But I think this period in lockdown has been helpful for me to see different ways that I can connect with people. So me and Gia created like a virtual book club, and we've been connecting with folks in that way, attending virtual dance classes, virtual church, just like all of these things that it doesn't have to be a text message, but like I can engage with people in substantial ways that I don't think I would have even began to think about or even made space for before this time period. And then the fourth question is, what do you want to maintain once this lockdown is over? So now that we've been kind of like gathering all of these new insights about ourselves, about how we navigate relationships, about how we have a relationship with our work as well, like what do you want to take away from this and bring forward, and like what are the concrete steps that you can have to make sure that you continue this after the lockdown. So for me, some of the things I've been taking away from this is like prioritizing connection with people and work-life balance. I think those have always been something of importance for me, but it was easy for me to get trapped in mindsets that I was surrounded by. So if I was surrounded by workaholics, or if I was surrounded by people who put their work before other people, it made it harder for me to maintain those values that I had. So now that I'm like seeing what that looks like for myself in this space, because I'm still working, right? I'm still dissertation. So although I'm still working, I am still making time, like scheduling in days and specific times to have these types of interactions with my friends, and to like take breaks and rest and all that good stuff. I think it'll be important for us to not only be able to identify what the characteristics or things we're learning in this time period are, but what can we do moving forward to maintain that. So for me, maintaining that might look like I don't know, maybe continuing this virtual book club, and like making sure that like the split in my week for work and life is closer to something like 80-20. And I know that'll look different depending on what the circumstances of your job are, etc. But if we can continue to maintain these relationships in whatever ways that might look like, virtually or in person, I think we will be better for it, you know? And I think this time period is really pushing back on like capitalistic notions of production. And so I think it'll be super easy for us to slip back into those kind of grind, always on 100 modes once this lockdown is over, or maybe going into overdrive because we want to overcompensate for this time period. But for us to make sure that we maintain our own mental well-being, you know, we can't stress these edges out, okay? I hope that you do try to implement practices to maintain your well-being after this period as well. So I'm done chatting your ear off. You know, we had our little heart to heart. If you want to continue it, feel free to comment down below. I'll answer any questions or hype you up on the things that you've been accomplishing and learning about yourself during this time as well. We are here to support each other in our love and our growth and all of it, okay? All right. Be well, y'all.